Hello and welcome to another video. In this one, I'm going to be going over the very basics of regular expressions, which hopefully this will make them a little bit more approachable. Regular expressions are kind of tricky, and they're pretty easy to make your code too complicated, but they show up in a lot of places, so let me just show you how they work. Let's jump into that. I guess before we get started, you might also see regular expressions abbreviated as this word here, which some people say as regex with a hard G, and some people say it as regex with a soft G. I will refer to them as regexes, although I know I'm wrong because it would mean that it's pronounced regular expressions. But anyway, I'm going to call it regex, but you know, regular expressions, same things. So there are many different flavors of regular expressions, and I'm going to be introducing some concepts that apply in, I want to say most of them, but we're particularly going to be working with extended grep today. You'll also be able to apply, I think, all of these rules to both Python and JavaScript just out of the box, as well as a bunch of other flavors. If you're working in a particular language, make sure to look up what flavor you're using, and there will often be like some similar cheat sheet for stuff that that regular expression engine supports. And I've left myself some notes today so that I don't forget to do all of the things, but I'm going to show you how this is going to work. So we're going to be running a bunch of tests for regular expressions, and I'm going to fill out these notes on the other side. That way you have like some text that you can just kind of steal out of this window or like get a summary at the end. So we're going to be writing text using echo. So like echo hello world, which, you know, just prints hello world. And we're going to be piping this into grep. Grep is a tool which looks for pattern matching in a file, or in this case in standard in. You would normally use grep to like find lines that match a particular thing inside of, you know, your source code or whatever. And we're going to be using grep-E, which enables extended regex mode. Grep has several different modes of regular expressions. One of them is Perl regexes, one is extended regexes, and then without either of those flags, Perl is -P. Without either of those flags, you have normal regular expressions, but I find that the normal POSIX regexes are just like really hard to understand, and like the knowledge of those don't translate well to, or doesn't translate well to other regex engines. So we're going to be using grep-E. So let's start with just the very first the very first part of regular expressions, and that's just normal verbatim text. So if we do grep-E hello here, you'll notice, and this is actually going to be super helpful for explaining this. I didn't realize that it highlighted stuff with pipes, but you'll see exactly what matches here. And I'm just using regular verbatim text. And so in regular expressions, most verbatim text just kind of matches that text exactly. You'll notice that by default, regular expressions are also case sensitive. So if I capitalize this, you'll see that we have no match here. So it didn't produce any output. So if we fill these notes out, verbatim text is matched literally. We'll see a bunch of cases where this is not true though. Okay, so we got verbatim text. Cool. Let's start with our first character that's treated specially in regular expressions, and that is the period. So let's change this regular expression slightly. Well, actually, let's just change the word slightly first so that we can see that, you know, if I say hello instead of hello, it doesn't match. But we can use a dot here, and a dot is a single character wildcard. So this will match any character in that particular spot. And you'll see that this matches hello world as well as hello world now. And so this one character here is kind of treated as a wildcard, and that's kind of the first special character that we see in regular expression. So the dot is a single character wildcard. Wildcard. That's a nice little typo there. And so as soon as you see your first special character, you might be like, well, Anthony, what if I want to match a literal period? Like, what am I going to do there? So if we take this and like put a period here, and maybe we're trying to match world period, you'll notice that this does match, but There's actually a sneaky thing going on here, and that is that the dot wildcard also matches the period character. So if we change this to Hello Worlds, you'd see that it's still matching, but we really don't want it to. And in order to get around this limitation, we use what are called escapes. And in most regular expression engines, the escape character is a backslash. Now, I'm just quoting this argument here just to avoid interfering with my terminal. If you were working in your programming language of choice, you probably wouldn't need to do any special quoting here. But you'll see that I'm escaping this backslash or this dot character. So I'm using a backslash before the dot. This turns into a single character that's just a literal period. So it's no longer the single character wildcard, but it is a literal period. And you'll see if I do this now, it no longer matches Hello Worlds. But if we do Hello World with a period, you'll see that it matches now. So the backslash is an escape character. In some contexts, the backslash can do other things, but so far we're just going to see it today as changing the character after it to a literal character. Let's see, so most cases treat the character, character after it as a, it's cut off, after it as a literal character. So, you know, backslash dot is just dot. I'll put these in backticks so that it highlights nicely if we were to put this in Markdown. But yeah, so it allows you to take a character and treat it literally. There are also character classes which are triggered by backslashes, but they're a little bit more advanced, so I'm going to skip over them today. And I don't actually think that grep-E has many character classes. I guess it has backslash B, but don't worry about that. You can learn that one separately offline without this video. Okay, so that's verbatim text, the wildcard, and an escape character. Let's talk about tilde, or not tilde, let's talk about caret and $sign next. These are what are called anchors. So if we take this text again, sure. So let's say we have hi, hello, hi, and we only want to match the word hello at the beginning of a line. This caret is what's called an anchor, and it anchors to the beginning of the line, and this $sign is another anchor, but it anchors to the end of the line. So let's say we only wanted to match at the beginning of the line. I'm just quoting here again for terminal sake. I don't think caret actually does anything in the terminal. But this is a regular expression which will only match hello at the beginning of the line, and you'll notice that because hello is not at the beginning of the line here, it doesn't match. But if we were to remove hi here, you'll see that it does match. So this anchors it to the beginning. Additionally, if we were to put a $sign here, well, let's just do it with a $sign first. This will anchor it to the end, so now this will only match if hello is at the end of the string. So you'll see here that it only matches that there. And if we wanted to use both of the anchors, this will now match the entire string. So this says that the string must start with the word hello, and then once hello is exhausted, you must be at the end of the string. So you'll see that that doesn't match, but if we only have the word hello, it does match. And so these are called anchors, and this matches, and note that they're anchors, but they're 0 width, so they don't consume any characters when they're matched. There are other anchors in regular expressions that also don't consume characters. Matches the beginning of the string. Oh, cool, I'm past my face, so I don't need to worry about the length of these anymore. So $sign matches the end of the string. And so you can use this to, like, you know, make sure that you're matching particular parts of your string. Cool, so let's talk about these next 3 characters. These are what are called, or what I like to call, repeat quantifiers. There's probably some like actual term for this, but I just, you know, in my head I think of them as repeaters. Let's talk about the star first. So the star means that it matches 0 or more characters. So if you had, you know, the word hello and you were grepping for, yeah, sure. Grepping for HE star, and I'm gonna again use quotes around this because of my terminal. So what this will match is it'll match H followed by 0 or more E's, and then followed by LLO. And you'll see here that it matches hello. It also matches hello without any L, and it also matches hello with a whole bunch of E's. So the star character is, 0 to many. Matches 0 to many of the previous thing. We'll talk more about what these things can be later, but for now, given everything that we've introduced, it'll just match the previous character. So that's star. If we take plus, plus is very similar to star, but instead of matching 0 to many, it matches 1 to many. So now, oh, we need grep dash capital E. Right, this is a feature that's only in extended regular expressions. I should have done dash capital E for all these other ones, but we were using, simpler features up there. But you'll see here that it also matches this hello string, just like the star did. And if we, just have 1, it also matches that. But you'll notice that it won't match if we have 0 E's. And that's because the plus means 0 to many. Plus matches 1 to many of the previous thing. And then we get to our last repeat quantifier, which is question mark. Question mark matches either 0 or 1, but not many. So we take this same hello example here. If we do HE question mark LLO, this means that it'll match either 0 or 1 E's here. And so you'll see the hello with no E matches. And if we have just 1 E, that also matches. But if we have multiple E's, it does not match. So if we take question mark, this matches 0 or 1 of the previous thing. And we'll get more to things when we get down to here later. There is one other way you can do repeats, and that's with these curly braces here. And the thing inside the curly braces is a range, or is a number or a range. So this is kind of the number format, and this is kind of the range format. And so we can put a curly brace here instead of those repeat characters that we saw before. This will say repeat the previous thing exactly 2 times. So you'll see that that matches hello with 2 E's, but not with 1 E and not with 3 E's. So this is an exact repeat counter. So if we fill out our notes here, N is an exact repeat counter. So bracket 2 bracket matches exactly 2 of the previous thing. Now, this second format is a range format. It allows you to say, like, you know how plus was 1 to many. You could do like 2 to many or 2 to 4 or something like that. So let's show an example of that. So if we do just a trailing comma here, this says starting at 2 and going to infinity match the previous thing. So this is either 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. copies of E. So you see that it matches 3. And it matches 2, but it does not match 1. And it also matches, some very, very large number of L's. So that's kind of an open-ended range. You can also do the open-ended range in the other direction. So this says match up to 2 of the previous thing. And so you'll see that it doesn't match the big number, but it does match, 0 or 1 or 2, but not 3 of those. And so you can see like this is a open-ended, but on the other direction. So this is 0 to 2 repeats. And you can also fill out both of them. So you can say like 2 to 5 repeats, and you'll see that 3 matches, but 6 does not, for instance. And so I guess we'll fill out all of these separately. Oops. So that to N matches 0 to N repeats. If we do N comma matches N to infinity repeats. And if we have both sides of the range, N to M matches N to M repeats. And note that these are inclusive matches. So if N is 2 and M is 5, it will match 2, 3, 4, and 5, but not 6 and not 1. So that's all of the repeats, these particular things here. So you have your special character repeats, and then you have your more, free-form counted repeats. So let's talk about character classes next, or at least bracketed character classes. There are other special character classes, but these are the 2 basic ones that we're going to talk about today. If we go back to, hello world, The first character class is just brackets with any number of characters in it, although the dash is treated specially, so we'll talk about that in a second. But let's say that we were going back up to our example up here where we were using dot. Where did we use dot? Way up here. We're using dot to match either hello or hollow, but maybe we don't want to match like other characters here. So we can use HEA. This bracketed thing means that this single character can either be an A or it can be an E. I guess either can be an A or E or A. Anyway, you'll see that this section here can match E. It can also match A. But let's say we went to Hello World. You'll notice that it doesn't match that there. However, if we extended our character class a little bit more to add the U to it, it'll now match Hello World. So, let's see, ABC matches a single character that is either A, B, or C. And so you can use this to kind of match a couple of different characters, particular characters. Now, the second character class is this form here, which is a ranged character class. This particular one here says that it matches any character inclusively between A and Z. So it'll match A, B, C, D, etc., X, Y, Z. So, maybe we only wanted to match, A through F for some reason. Or like, let's say that we wanted to match a hexadecimal character or like string. So you might do, the memory address is OX dead beef. And we want to match this particular memory address here. So we might do, A to F plus. So this says, and again, we're combining two features here. We're combining a repeat here, and we're combining a character class. And this character class says, anything inside this range we want to match here. And you'll notice that, this is one of the reasons why regular expressions can introduce a lot of bugs in your program. This is an over greedy match, and you'll see it matched a bunch of other stuff that I didn't actually care about, but it did actually match this here. And maybe we would improve our regular expression by putting a verbatim OX before it so that it only matches this particular memory address. And, hexadecimal digits can actually contain numbers as well. You'll notice that we're not properly matching these numbers yet. We can actually extend this character class by adding another range inside of it. So this will match any character between inclusive A to F, and then it'll match numbers after it as well. So you can see that now we're matching our entire hexadecimal string there. So let's talk about that here. A to F matches a single character that is inclusively in the range between A and F. Now you might ask, well, Anthony, if dash means something special, how do I make a thing that doesn't have dash, or like matches a dash character? And the way you can do that, let's go back to our echo hello world. The way you can do that is you list the dash as the last character of this character class here. So you can say like H, EA dash. I don't know why you would do that. But you'll see that this matches hello world, and now it can also match a literal dash here. And so as long as you put it at the end, that will be treated specially. Okay, we've gone over a lot so far. Let's see, we're 20 minutes into this video so far. Whoops. Okay, well, the last two things are pretty straightforward. So hopefully we'll get through those pretty quickly. So let's talk about the pipe. The pipe is an exclusive OR, so it allows you to match one thing or the other. And so, let's take our hello world example again. And maybe we want to match hello or oh hi world, but nothing else. And so what we can do here is we can use a pipe. I've actually already gone ahead and used the, let's not introduce the parentheses yet. Let's do this manually. So what this pipe says is treat either the left-hand side as the thing we're matching or the right-hand side thing as what we're matching. And you'll see here that, we pass hello world, it gets matched. If we pass oh hi world, that also gets matched. But if we pass, like wat world, it does not get matched. And so pipe is exclusive or match one thing or the other. Okay, and that brings us to our last thing, which is parentheses. Parentheses, similar to math, allow you to group parts of expressions. So you can say, like, you know, you can put things and put a star after it or a plus after it, or you can, you know, batch up where your or matches. So, like in this case, well, in what I actually wrote above, this regex can be golfed down a little bit to, you know, hello or oh hi world. And then you don't have to repeat all this stuff here. So this allowed me to group just hello and oh hi as part of this part here, and prevented like this or from extending to these other literal characters here. So it's really just kind of a grouping mechanism. And just to recap a little bit, remember this backslash up here earlier? If you ever need to match a literal parenthesis character, same thing goes with like brackets or any of the other things. If you need to match a literal parenthesis character, so let's say we wanted to match world, this currently isn't matching the parentheses. You'll see they're not colored. You can escape the parentheses by using a backslash. Oops, excuse me. And you'll see that now that matches. Anyway, this is kind of a crash course to regular expressions. These are kind of the basics that you need to do probably most matching with regular expressions. And hopefully you found this useful. Regexes come up in a lot of different places. You know, grep is one example, sed is another. Your text editor probably supports regular expressions. You know, even Discord supports regular expressions. But hopefully this was useful. If you guys have additional stuff that you want me to explain, leave a comment below or reach out to me on the various platforms. But thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.